Updates are coming to F1 Clash, and we're going to run through and give our opinion on them also. Apologies to Hutch Sam if I screen grab you with some interesting faces in this, but we got to do what we got to do, so apologies in advance. So we're going to give our honest opinion on these updates that are coming, and I want to hear your opinion down below as well. So first up, we've got F1 Clash update 30 and already 30.1. You might ask, why 30.1? So updates were rolled out originally to a small set of players, almost like a guinea pig type thing, where they roll them out in a small number and they track to see if there's any issues or bugs. Now, they have found bugs, and that's why we have the implementation of 30.1 already. So let's run through these and let you know when they're going to get fixed as well, and when the update is coming. So in this update, we've got technical improvements, so loading times, improvements for disconnections, which is a big thing for players. We've got optimization, stability through the game as well. So probably something that people have called for is disconnections. Everything else is an added bonus if the gameplay runs smoother. We've got the contender qualifying bug. This was supposed to be fixed in update 29, which hasn't seemed to have an impact as we would have liked. So that is still got to be fixed, and that is what's coming. We've got a fixed bug resulting in some crate rewards incorrectly displaying upgrade available. So you would have seen that by now. Every time you look at an asset, it says upgrade available when it's not. So that update had started to be rolled out, and the new issue that was found was players being stuck in a startup loop. Now, this loop was when they claimed their weekly rewards. So Hutch have held the update, implemented the fix already for 30.1, and then we're going to see the rest of the update to more players from Monday and potentially be forced update by the Wednesday. So there's two ways of looking at this. First of all, they've released an update, small number of players, they found an issue, they held the update, and they've issued a fix for it already. Sounds great, but it also just still come back to the point of, should they really be testing this before they even put the update out there? That's both sides, so it depends which side of the fence you want to sit on, but that is the interesting view of it. Some would argue that it should be tested in-house as hard as possible before being released, whereas others will argue the case of at least it's only a small number of players affected. But it does mean these players are affected until they get the new updates. For all you playing contender though, that is a massive fix if it goes right. This is the second time at least that this has been tried, so hopefully this time you do get to see it resolved and fixed, and you will no longer get them dodgy qualifying positions when you try and do your GP. There's nothing worse than being at the front and then suddenly next race you're down the pack. So fingers crossed, from next week all players will see the benefit of these updates. We then have update 31, which is due on September the 4th as advised by Sam. We've got a community request to view a club from an invite, so you know you've got an invite before. You don't know what the club is, you have to manually search it. So that is a community request and something that will benefit players, where they can click the club and check them out first. We have got something called power-ups. Now you might be saying, what the hell is power-ups? Well, guess what? Here they are. I'm obviously only joking, but I tell you what, it'd be pretty fun if these were the power-ups. But we'll come along to them briefly now. So let's have a look at the power-ups in question. So these updates are pretty interesting. So we've got a ×2 coins, ×2 trophies, ×2 flags, reputation points, and a crate timer. So Sam was pretty skeptical on what these are 100%, but we could have different versions. It could be ×2 coins, ×6 coins, ×8 coins. We're yet to see. It'll be interesting what the trophies and the flags are as well. So it looks like we're going to be able to win this type of stuff potentially by you've all seen the daily spinner. So when you spin it for coins, crates, books every 24 hours, it could be that we see these be added instead, and you could unlock. So you might get double coins for 4 hours, which could be aid you racing more. So we're yet to hear more, but It could be very interesting if this works well. Might encourage more people to race, especially if you've got crate timers, double coins. I'm interested to see what the flags and the trophies are. But double points for rep for clubs could be a massive bonus as well to get players racing. So be interested to see what the drop rates are and if they do appear in any other element of the game. Could they come into rewards as well? We've then got some track changes which I'm sure everybody would like. So Abu Dhabi first of all, and watch out in the video coming up about overtaking because I think it is a glimpse in there. But you can see at the bottom of the screen we've now got this hairpin type corner rather than the little chicane part that was in there. So we'll all benefit from the new track of Abu Dhabi. And we've also got the Spanish GP. Spanish track changes, last few corners, no longer chicane as well. A nice flowing rhythm through turns 13, 14 coming to the game as well. So no more blocking of the pits, hopefully, and no more slower corner action. Hopefully this should be pretty fast track, even more than it was before. We were also teased with a new track addition. So what could this be? Sam mentioned we've seen it before. So could we have China back on the cards? Could it be Portimao from Portugal? I'm sure we had potentially that track. Vietnam, I'm sure I remember of some sort through the years. Could be wrong, just going off the top of my memory. And we've also got Monaco. Could famous Monaco be back with us? We've got overtaking and defending update coming, and this takes into all accounts of your overtaking, your defending, your speed, your cornering stats, and we know this is very hard since update 29, so let's get Sam to explain more.
Just clearly where your driver name is, you will see when it's successful it's green, and when it's a failed overtake you'll see it show up in red, or failed defend, and so forth. So player and recipient will see this. And yeah, that's just going to look. So that's what it's going to look like in game. And this will hopefully help with visualizing what is happening in the background when your car is attempting to overtake, or when your car is attempting to defend, and so forth.
This is an interesting change because I think we can all say that we know when an overtake is successful or not because they either pass them or they don't. So that clearly does show us what happens, but obviously these visuals are there to try and improve it a little bit, to at least show that your driver is trying to overtake. Does it beg the question, did we need it? Could the time have been spent into fixing other bugs and issues? That's out for debate. I don't personally think we need this addition, but I see what they're doing with it. Let's see what happens in bugs fixes for update 31. We've got club chat messages doubling up. We all know club chats are pretty useless. So I'm looking forward to that being fixed, because usually we have to do it outside of club chats. That sprint race final position appears different. So if you got P1, you might have claimed P3 rewards, for example. So that is also a fix going in. Drivers begin races with different power unit levels. So we're seeing power units at 100%, 80%, 60%. So everyone's going to get the same amount. AI cars appear to not make any pit stops. We're talking Singapore, for example, 6 laps. Easy sometimes for some drivers. We've got players receive a crash loop when purchasing offer packs. Some common lap times appear faster than upgraded ones. Players experiencing the 2023 season transition every time they load F1 Clash. Apparently, workaround for that is to simply reinstall the game, but it will be fixed in this one. The big one, cars stacking up in some corners, update 29. I would like to see the time and effort being put into this one. This is a big fix that needs to happen, and honestly cannot wait because it is an absolute pain. We've got sprint race button disappears from the home screen. Obviously, at the moment, we have to just keep racing and hope that it is behind. And we've got pit lane exits being abnormally slow. Obviously, I found and released the issue about pit exit tricks. So pitting for wets, for example, and going around your cars. Looks like that was supposed to be fixed in previous updates, but now they're doing a even more of an update to try and fix that again. We've also got clubs not being promoted at the exhibition despite being in the promotion zone. So even some clubs got demoted even when winning their leagues. That's a big one from the club's aspect. Not enough assets popping up during asset trading when there is enough assets. Fixed for a rare driver swap situation, which we haven't seen, or I haven't seen, but clearly does exist in the background. And issues where players' cars on the same team would sometimes interfere with each other's race. Interesting to see that one. Now, yes, we also mentioned it beforehand. I think some of these updates could have come sooner. I think there's changes in here that probably weren't so much a priority fix for players. Stuff like the overtaking, defending visual. I think we could have definitely looked elsewhere and improved some other aspects before we got into that one. Whilst I appreciate Hutch giving the updates, I think they are obviously needed updates. The big worry for me is update 29 saw a lot of fixes. No way near the scale what seems to be the case on here. And there is even more updates coming around this part, but we're only seeing this for now. So when update 31 approaches, we'll get a bigger list of impacts and basically bugs they're going to fix. I am kind of sceptical about all of these bugs being fixed. It definitely is update 30, 31, and even when we come to 32, 33, 34, where there's some more changes, some more track updates as well, is really going to put the players' patience to the test. Everyone's going to be watching these updates bigger than ever, and they don't want to see any bugs or any issues come off the back. A lot of players will hope that Hutch have done their testing, especially with such a big update, and hopefully it improves the game. I definitely feel the priorities should have changed, and we should have focused on different aspects like the cars blocking, pit exits, like slow, various sort of lag, that kind of thing, and really brought them forward, because they are the big gameplay changes that everyone feels right now. But it is going to be a couple of months where a lot of players will really take note of how the game's going. So I hope, obviously, for myself, for all you and Hutch, that these changes go in smoothly. I appreciate Sam for coming out and giving us as much detail. This is quite a lengthy info, and you can find it on Facebook as well. Very, very detailed update. I think it's great for the players to see these updates, to know what's coming, but the proof will be in the pudding as to see what happens. I think these changes are good. I think they could have been changed in terms of priority, but we'll answer that question once the update goes in. So any update is a bonus as long as it gets implemented in the right way. So fingers crossed, let's hope that it does, and let me know down below. If you've got this far in the video, let me know what you think of these updates. What do you think should have changed? Was there something missing? Do just let me know, because I can pass any feedback to Hutch as well. So fingers crossed you can let me know, and we can have a look what changes could come in the future.